This is Speaking of Writers. I'm Steve Richards. The book is Vision of Inspiration. The author is Michailah Belle. Michailah, welcome to this program.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too. So why this book, Vision of Inspiration, for you?
I've always wanted to be a writer since I was a small child, but something always kind of held me off. I believe it's because I didn't learn life and didn't know life back then. And this year that came up, like I have been through so much in life. God said it is time to get your word out there, his word out there to people, because there's so much going on in life and so many people don't know what real love is, that they always search for it in all the wrong places. And I'm trying to help people understand that sometimes, yes, we do have to go through bad things to get to the good things or to grow into the people who we are meant to become. And only real love comes from God. It doesn't come from humans.
Michailah, talk about your background a little bit. I understand you have 11 children?
Yes, I have 11 birth children, 209 godchildren, and 15 stepchildren, and a whole lot of grandchildren.
We're chatting with Michailah Belle here on Speaking of Writers. Her new book is Vision of Inspiration. It is available at writersrepublic.com, also amazon.com, too. Let's talk about mental health and the importance of mental health.
Well, I am schizophrenic and bipolar. I also have PTSD and also ADHD. Mental health is like, the way that I wrote my book, I wrote it exactly how I think. I can't stay focused. I'm always off topic, which is what I exactly wrote in my book. Mental health is very important, and so many people let it fall into the cracks. And then there are beliefs that we as a human people believe that other people don't believe. So then they will even give you a stigmatism of having a mental health disorder also.
Now, I understand you want to talk about abuse, too. I know you have an abusive background as well, right?
Yes, I do. I was molested as a child, and I also was raped as an adult, and I also have been physically abused to the point where I almost lost my life multiple times, all at the hands of people that have claimed that they loved me. Husbands, friends, it's like an array of people, not just physical, not just sexual, but also mentally and verbal abuse also, and emotional abuse, which is damn near, I'm sorry for saying that, but which is the worstest one. Because with physical, you can get better, you can heal from that. But when it comes to the emotional damage that's done, a lot of people cannot heal from that. A lot of people go into depression and they want to commit suicide. A lot of people go murder other people. So it's like so much stuff that, wow, it's like a lot. It's like a lot.
Yeah, and you went through a lot, too. How did you heal, Michailah, from all of that?
It took God to send the right person to me. I call him my husband. We aren't legally married, but we're going kind of by old law. This year will make 5 years of us being together. I always believed in God. I grew up in churches. I was raised around, I was raised to be Baptist and Christian. So we stayed in the churches, but I didn't have the faith that I have now. I didn't have the knowledge and the wisdom that I have now. What brought me back to him is one thing. My daughter, Kayla, she had a heart transplant, and she had sinusoidal large B-cell lymphoma stage 4 level B, and she also had Burkitt's lymphoma stage 4 level B, and she had a full-on heart transplant at 3 weeks old. That's the first thing that brought me back and going to this church called Faith Bible Church with Pastor Ryan Mustard. He's an awesome pastor. He kind of taught me to have more faith. Everything they did, they prayed for first. So that kind of taught me to have more faith and more patience. And then my husband, Alex, he taught me That yes, a lot of patience, a lot of patience, and he helped me see my demons, and I also helped him see his demons. And he has so much patience with me because I was battered. I was battered to the point where I wanted to kill myself, and he physically saved me from killing myself.
Michailah, what do you think the difference is between God's love and humans' love?
Uh, God's love is stronger. Humans' love, to me, these days, with what I've seen in my life, humans' love is not accurate at all. It's false. Like, okay, because I'll give you an example. I have been molested, and I was molested by someone that loved me. I was beat by someone that loved me. People throw around the word love very, very loosely. They don't understand what it really is. If you love someone, you're not supposed to hurt them. So it's like God's love, God is always going to be there for you. He's never going to leave you. He's never going to forsake you. He's never going to do any of that. Now, he will allow you to go through trials, that he allows Satan to put us through, because none of us are exempt from a trial. Even Jesus had to go through a trial. But he's going to be there with you through all of that. He's never going to leave you in that trial by yourself. His love is so awesome. It's warming, Humans' love is cold. These humans these days, they only care for themselves. They don't care for other people like they should, like it was when we were coming up and growing up. It was more love back then, and now it's just like love, loyalty, integrity is all depleted.
So why do you think, Michailah, special people that are spiritual are labeled crazy?
I think because there are a lot that we understand that other people can't understand. Like me, since I was 11, I've had dreams that my grandfather was burning on fire. And at 15, it actually happened where he smoked a cigar and he fell asleep with it and it burnt him up. But I remember from 11 to 15, waking up every night telling my mom and dad, Grandpa's burning, Grandpa's burning. And they would always tell me, no, you're just having a nightmare. You're just having a nightmare. But I wasn't. I was having premonitions, of things that was going to happen before it happened. And that's not the only time. I've seen spirits with my own eyes, and I've talked to them. I've even called them out by name. And I have proof that, that I've seen these spirits. So I know I'm not crazy, when it comes to that. A lot of us, because we are spiritual, we are labeled crazy. We are labeled psychotic, or we're having a psychotic breakdown. And it's just a lot. It's a lot into it because people don't understand and they don't have that gift. God gives everyone gifts, but everyone has different gifts. So if they don't have that spiritual connection, then they won't understand that spiritual connection. When we was younger, we played with the neighbors with the Ouija boards and the black magic and all of that stuff. And people say that stuff isn't real, but yes, it is very real. It all opens the doors to portals that should not be open.
Chatting with Michailah Belle here on Speaking of Writers. Her new book is Vision of Inspiration, available at writersrepublic.com and amazon.com. All right, Michailah, the big question. So how can we make this world a better place for our new and next generation?
I think one thing that we need to do is we need to understand God's real love. Once we understand that and we love ourselves and then we love humans, like I know I say it all the time, I hate humans because of the stuff that they do. They're so evil. Once we get God's love into them, and if everybody can rewire their thinking a little bit, and be positive instead of negative, because there's so much negativity out here. Like, say, for instance, I have my business called Loud House Incorporation. That's where my 209 God kids come from. Now, these are children that are out here in these streets, homeless, or like stealing cars, or trying to kill themselves. They call them the rejects, but they aren't rejects. They are children that need guidance. And if they don't have good guidance, positive guidance, then our world is really going to be effed up. Really. It already is, because once they start taking out the children's programs. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There's so many kids killing the kids up here, and it's just not really a good place to live for kids, not even with jobs. I believe if they put out more jobs for these children and then put out more things to help the parents, raise the children, if everybody would work together as a team instead of this person going that way and that person going that way and not caring about each other's feelings and all of that, like, it would be so much of a better place.
And what would you like readers to take away from this book, Vision of Inspiration?
Okay. What I want readers to take from this book, Vision of Inspiration, is, have you lived life? Have you lived life to the fullest? Have you put out positive information and have you done positive things for all the negativity that's going around? Because just as much as there is negativity going around, we also need positivity going around. Like, I want them to build their faith. I want them to build who they are and become better people. I want them to learn to love the right way and stop throwing that word around so loosely. I just want them to learn more about themselves from the inside. I want them to not care about what other people say with the stigmatism, with them branding them crazy. Like, hey, if you see spirits, that's okay. You're not crazy because you see spirits, because some of us have those special gifts. I want them to be better people. I want them to grow and to learn and to help other people, like people that have been through that same situation. I want them to build them up instead of everyone tearing each other down, which is what they do now. I want them to build each other up. If we have more people building each other up and more people standing on their word and really showing real love to each other, then this world will be so much better.
Great advice. The book is Vision of Inspiration. The author is Michailah Belle. It's available at writersrepublic.com and amazon.com too. Michailah, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much, too, for having me. I really appreciate it. And I hope that everyone reads this book, and I hope that you find it in your heart to pass it along and hopefully help heal the world. I want this book to heal the world.
And this is Speaking of Writers.